So here I am here to talk more about your places, your Vastu. Or mera goal, mera jo aim hai, it is not about just getting into the system and getting money out of it. It is more about self-education. And it's not a difficult concept. हम लोगों ने उसको मुश्किल बना दिया and understanding and making of it and just more complicating. And it's not our fault. It's just about the space constraints also that we all go through. Now, whether we go for a Vastu of a hospital, of a hotel, of a home, it has some similar points, but not all. It cannot be generic, right? जब आप वास्तु के बारे में जानते हैं, सुनते हैं, पढ़ते हैं, तो there is a common myth that we go through कि यार नॉर्थ ईस्ट में टॉयलेट नहीं होना चाहिए, and we just don't ask why. The problem is that when you ask why, you get a lot of clarity in life. So here we are going to talk about that how it affects your mind. How can you utilize it to the maximum of your capacity, and how to get benefit out of it in every area of your life, be it your home, your hotel, your restaurant, whatever. Because I have limited time and I don't like to exceed and my limitations. So I'm going to be very precise. I'm going to make it very crisp. So all of you should have attention here so that you don't miss out a point in case you have interest in it. पहले तो शब्द समझते हैं. Anybody who has issue with Hindi here? Okay, so if I don't, right. So I will try and understand with what kind of knowledge you have about it, but we'll just keep it on the side. Most of you would be very expert in it. आप लोगों ने assets create किए हैं, properties create की हैं, लेकिन वास्तु शब्द का simple मतलब ये है कि तू वास कैसे करे? How should you establish yourself in a premises? Now, when we talk about home, this is somewhere where you spend at least 1/3 of your life. अगर आप सुबह 6 बजे भी घर से निकलते हैं, तो 8 घंटा तो आप सोते हैं. So your bedroom is very important than the major house. If you have a joint family, and sometimes we feel that घर common है, हम बहुत ज़्यादा changes नहीं कर सकते हैं, और entry common है, और floor system है, then whatever area you have your right on is the area that you have to do Vastu in. So it's not a complicated process. It is to simplify our lives. Now, when we talk about hotel, when we talk about an establishment like a restaurant, now there are two purposes to it. Some hotels are in the category which is like wellness. आप luxury property में जाएंगे, you would want a person to be here for longer. If we go to a restaurant, the whole concept of Vastu changes. क्योंकि आपको फटाफट टेबल को move करना है, unless and until alcohols are served there, and you would want them to stay longer. So with the purpose, the need also changes. Now, how does Vastu affect? Now, give me an example where you have ever gone to a hospital and you have been to a hospital जहाँ पर आपको डॉक्टर के कपड़े, walls का color, interiors का color red दिखा था. Is any one of you ever experienced that? भगवान ना करे इस टाइम पर किसी को hospital जाना पड़े, but you would have never seen that, and you've never questioned. जब हम hospital जाते हैं, why do we see whites, soft blue, sea green? Why don't we see orange? Why don't we see something bright? Unless it's a maternity hospital where children are welcomed in life, where you would see some colors. So whether we want it or we don't want it, we are always being affected by the colors that we see. So science says that हमारा 80% energy जो body का loss होता है, it is only through our eyes. तो जो आप देखते हैं वो आप सोचते हैं, जो आप सोचते हैं वो आप चाहते हैं, और उसी की तरफ आपका action होता है. Now this whole concept is very important when you see a person also. हमसे पहले जो there was this lady who was giving the whole introduction about Hangama, and when I could listen to it, all I could see on the screen was just a picture. And when Grish ji was talking to her, or Renu ji was talking on the screen, so somebody was looking like this, somebody was looking like this, because there was no person to connect to. Similarly, when we do a audio call, हम इधर-उधर देखते हैं, मैसेज चेक कर लेते हैं, 2-4 चीजें उठाकर रख लेते हैं, because there is no eye contact. Now, if I talk to somebody eye to eye, it is very difficult for them to move their focus. Similarly, it's to a property also. Now, think of your favorite restaurant or a hotel which is not yours. It could be Oberoi, it could be one of the Taj hotels, anywhere where you really went inside and you said, wow, a place where you would like to go again and again. Now bring yourself visually to the first image you get of that hotel or a restaurant. क्या अटकता है आपकी आंख में? What is that you remember? The first image is where your mind is stuck. Similarly, people have similar things when they enter your property. They have similar vibe to it. And what are you trying to sell? बेच क्या रहे हैं? देना क्या है? What is that you want them to experience is something you should be creating. But how, where, what is the whole science behind it? किसी भी चीज को addictive बनाने के लिए उसमें ज्यादा से ज्यादा sensual pleasure को add करना पड़ेगा. Now, I believe, and everybody believes, that food is the easiest achievable pleasure of life. Khana necessity भी है, but an easiest achievable pleasure of life. Similarly, किसी भी चीज से आप addicted हैं, be it a partner, be it physical pleasures, be it food. Just roll your mind into it, that how many senses do you involve in it? Think of it here, that you meet somebody whom you just get attracted to. Right? It could be a woman, it could be a man, thinking what sexual preference you have. When you see somebody, the first thing that you get attracted to is the way person looks. 30 सेकंड लेते हैं हम किसी भी चीज से इम्प्रेस होने के लिए या नहीं इम्प्रेस होने के लिए. We just take 30 seconds to just think whether I'm going to invest time on him or her or not. Similarly, it's for the place also. So the person and the place goes hand in hand. That is why in our culture, when we do a Vastu, we just don't see the directions. We create an energy field, which is called Vastu Purusha, so that we understand when a person that you like to be hooked to, you should be similarly hooked to a place also. So when you see a person, the first thing that you see is the person, and you feel ये presentable है, ये मेरे type है, ये अच्छा दिख रहा है, I can trust this person, whatever capacity you see a person to. Now, if the person is very good looking and you like the person, you suddenly come closer to the person and this extreme bad odor from the person. Will you be able to tolerate it? Nobody would be. So the second sense organ that is very, very important here is smell. Similarly for your property also. If you ever visit Dubai and you go to shopping malls, you go to spa, there's a certain fragrance particular to a certain place. Spa has more lemongrass, more lavender, more casual, calming fragrances so that you relax and you lay back. In shopping, there are fragrances that make you more excited. एक ही जगह पे बैठ जाएंगे तो मॉल का खर्चा कैसे निकलेगा? So it has to bring you on roll. Again, depending upon the property, the fragrance should be chosen. Second sense organ. The third is taste. Again, very important. Now, I don't have any authority to guide you on food, but in the person sense, I mean, you just can't, for the person, the taste comes into communication. If somebody is communicating well. Similarly, in property, especially hospitality industry, it's communication and taste both. How are you people receiving the person? Now, suppose if I meet you once and I just remember your name and I address you by your name, I address you by your children's health, I take their name, you would suddenly feel connected to me. You would suddenly feel, oh, I am important to her. Similarly, if your staff communicates to the guest in the way of remembering last name, the client suddenly feels I am special here. And the whole purpose of us as a humankind is to feel special, to get attention in life. That is why we buy houses, wear good clothes. Whatever we do is to get appreciation and attention, isn't it? When you bring it to the people in your hospitality industry by giving them individual attention, they are sold for life. And again, taste, the third part of the tongue, which, it's individual taste and preference of the place, which I don't have any domain to get into, but there is certain little skill to it also. When you see a menu card, you have always seen that when we write the dishes, it's always towards the left, and when we write the price, it is always towards the right. We don't ask, we don't question कि पैसे right पे क्यों लिख रहे हैं, पहले भी तो लिख सकते हैं. Because when people read something, the ending point is where their attention reaches to. So similarly, when you have your visiting card given to people, okay. When you have your visiting card given to people, it is just like your menu card. What are you selling? You are sending your hotel representatives to meet people. You're just taking them out. Even this card has a Vastu. Anything that occupies space can be corrected and bring it to best of its utilization. So anything which is pointed towards the right part of it. I work with a lot of people who are into tobacco industry and all that and different marketing FMCG products. One thing that is very common and something which we always highlight is कि on a packet towards the right side आप देखेंगे 10 rupees लिखा होगा और एक स्टार बना होगा या vegetarian लिखा होगा या gluten free लिखा होगा. Anything where we want bring focus to is here. Similarly, on your visiting card, when you're sending your sales executive to, anything which is mentioned here, ideally, I would prefer the hotel logo will get the most attention to the top and the most right part of it, because this is the area where it stores your memory as per the NLP. Now, we come to the fourth part of it. The fourth part of it is, as I talked about, the first sensual organ was eye, which is the most important. The second was nose. It cannot have a repelling smell. It has to be a generic smell, which is the purpose of the place. For calming, it's more about lavender. It makes you relax your mind. For excitement, it has to be oud. It could be patchouli. It could be sandalwood. For comfortable thing, for a cozy environment, it could be rose, and there could be a number of things that I can bring it up to. The third part that I said is communication or taste in both the areas. The fourth is hangama, music, right? It is very, very important. And again, it has to be as per the place. आप Chinese restaurant में तो गजल नहीं चला सकते ना. आप Indian restaurant में, where it is more like Indian accent, or places which is more about youth or experimental, still you cannot have a ghazal there. What is the purpose of your place? You want people to relax. You want people to come back again. You want people to just move, get up and keep moving. You want people to just eat more. What is that you want? You want people to feel glad, elated, happy, excited. That is the kind of the music should be played. But now the whole hotel property also has a music. The secret goes here that there is certain binaural beats. You have to find it on YouTube. There are certain binaural beats which creates a different vibration in the mind. It could be alpha binaural beats, which make people relax more. It could be theta and delta, which just makes them calm and stay longer. Very good for spas. At a very low volume, which is hardly hearable unless you focus. If played, people just get hooked onto it. So there are n number of things that you can use to make your property work, become better, and have a bigger word of mouth for people. Because when people like it, that's where we suggest it. Now, the last part is touch. If you're sitting somewhere and you've seen people sitting in clubs when there are a lot of or lounges or places which are very comfortable. There's a lot of cushions on it. And when people are a little drunk or they're a little easy, they just bring up cushions and hold it, put it on the side and do it like that. Now, when you give comfort to people of touch, it could be a little fur, cushion amongst the whole thing, where just people feel like touching, like silk. You see, the more luxury we talk about, it is more about softness. It is more about the feel of it. When you want people to sit somewhere for longer, you need to give them jahan par haath lage, they just want to keep touching it again and again. So the more sensual organs you bring it to a place, the more addictive or the more popular a place gets. And how does it affect your mind? And how do you choose your own Vastu? There is no correct or there's no wrong way of Vastu. A, it is not generic. Secondly, it is as per the owner of the place. Secondly, what does your logo say about it? It's all a combined thing for anything to make successful. Like a relationship, we can't say ये आदमी बात बहुत अच्छा करता है तो इससे मेरा रिश्ता अच्छा है. उसकी डीलिंग भी अच्छी होनी होगी, उसको ऑनेस्ट भी होना होगा, whatever your characteristics are. Similarly, for a place also, for the hotel industry, if you have toilets towards east or east-northeast, east-northeast is the area that falls between east and northeast. That is the area of fun and entertainment. And east is the place of socialization. If you have toilets in this area, why toilets are bad? They're not bad, they're necessity. But the energy of toilet is to drain. The energy of kitchen is to elevate. Fire है ना, सब कुछ उठाता है, heat generate करता है. So if you have toilets in that area, then the energy of entertainment, fun, joy is just going to get drained. कुछ ना कुछ होटल में लगा रहेगा जिसको आप repairing mode पर गोते रहेंगे. So these are the little things that we need to bring in attention to when you're restarting your place after COVID, that how pleasurable it is for people. So with this little information. I hope it is value added to your life, your place, and it will give me a lot of pleasure if it can bring you more clients, more people. That is the whole purpose of being behind it. So thank you so much for being so kind, so patient, and listening to it.